friends, this is Dr. Diana as patient, and I am pretty ill. I have been receiving so many questions and a lot of case information. Wonderful. But mercy, please bear with me as I try to stay on top of my email, since I will be speaking at the second annual CCSVI conference in New York, yay, in about a week. I will likely get a bit more behind. So I thought I'd answer a few questions via video. Duh. So many of us have overlapping symptoms, and answers for one person may help others. So here goes. Jennifer writes, "Thank you for all you have done and all you are doing." Thank you, Jennifer. You're welcome. I find it so weird that you are touching on stuff that I have wondered if there is a connection. My latest breakthrough for myself was finding that Ritalin was helping with my fibromyalgia symptoms. Now this patient has EDS, so we may as well call them EDS symptoms. 40 minutes after taking it, I am physically a different person. For example, this morning I shuffled out of bed in agony, took 10 milligrams of Ritalin, grabbed a cup of coffee, and sat at the computer. Voila, presto changeo. I can walk like I'm no longer crippled. It's not a perfect solution. As it comes out of my system, I tend to flush, remember that, and can get very tired, but not always. Now, no one with EDS asks very short questions. I'm going to skip around a little bit. Let's see. I have been taking Zyrtec occasionally. Good. She has chronic hiccups with no known cause. Seizures at age 4, no known cause. Oh, let's read this part. I pretty much stayed up all night because I couldn't stop watching your videos. Thank you. You deserve a medal, my friend. No. I wanted to know more. I am terrified I will get worse before anyone actually diagnoses me with POTS. It took 18 months to get my EDS diagnosis. There. I am desperate to be well. My brain is refusing to work. I am seeing myself as my cognitive function deteriorates at an alarming rate. I have so much I want to say and no brain to type it with. I hope this makes sense. Jennifer, boy, does it. But first, disclaimer. Now, I can't diagnose or treat you, certainly not over the internet, okay? I can, as a fellow patient and EDS POTS sufferer, share with you some of my journey, what helps me and my children, and tell you of some of the clinical trials I have underway, okay? Always check with your doctor first. Now, between you and I, my friends, I've always feel a little bit silly with this disclaimer. My doctors usually respond to my questions with, "Gee, Diana, I don't really know. I've never really had an EDS patient or a POTS patient or a mast cell patient." But they do listen, they read, and they're open. That's a blessing. So Ritalin, yes. Ritalin is actually a treatment for POTS. Check out potsplace.com. And not dissimilar from Provigil, which kept me going for a while, it can be great. Unfortunately, I got so bad that I could take Provigil, which is sort of like legalized speed. I have 5 cups of coffee and still be asleep on the floor for 12 hours. Basically, it quit working, and I didn't understand why. Now, Jennifer, you flush. That is almost pathognomonic for mast cell disease. Other rare diseases can make you flush, spikes in CSF, pheochromocytoma, etc. But when someone has EDS and POTS likely, the first thing we think of when we hear flushing is mast cell disorders. So as a fellow patient, I'll tell you that in our family, a double dose of Zyrtec and Zantac was a great start. Our doctor is prescribing Gastrocrom, it's a mast cell stabilizer, until we can get in to see a mast cell specialist. The response to this medication was not subtle. 48 hours later, we knew we were responding, and 2 weeks later, a significant difference. I still had breakthrough symptoms, which shows how overwhelmed my body is with mast cells, which are abnormal, by the way. And if I was exposed to the triggers, I had to be very careful. Triggers include stress, good or bad, heat, exercise, certain foods, alcohol, caffeine, etc. There's a ton of them, frankly. Now, seizures, yes. Chronic hiccups, yes. What a clinical trial indicated. Now, I released the results unofficially, although we're still wrapping up the trial, because the information was not even borderline, was that we tend to have too much pressure on our brains from birth, causing usually very subtle neurological symptoms along with delayed development in many and delayed speech in a few. Sometimes the symptoms are not so subtle, like your seizure and hiccups, and I've seen stuttering, tremors, cataplexy, and other things that were kind of scary. Now, my kids and I take medication to decrease the pressure on our brains. My daughter had chronic headaches for her entire life. baby dose of this medication took care of those. If you can come up with your head circumference, your length and weight from approximately birth to approximately 15 months of age, I'd be happy to graph out this for you. And it's objective measurements that your doctors will love. It would be a start to find out if you have had a bit too much pressure on your brain from birth, which I suspect might be your case. If you or anyone listening can come up with their numbers, please help me wrap up the study. Just go to the patient studies link here and we'll get you on it. I expect the results of this study will be groundbreaking. I say that humbly. And Jennifer, it will guide your doctors too. Cool? Yeah. My son and I had classic high pressure headaches, sometimes on the top of our heads, but usually the occipital ones, radiating down our necks and going to the tops of our shoulders. I thought I would need neck fusion. I was so miserable. Overnight, after we reduced the pressure, the headaches, neck aches were gone. So I believe that high intracranial pressure continues to be a problem for many of us. Brain fog. Anybody who calls it brain fog still has never experienced it. It is dementia that can wax and wane. I felt as though my brain was melting. I knew when I had trouble remembering my daughter's name versus my niece's name, I couldn't fake it my way through it anymore. It was at this time that my hypothermia was severe, my exhaustion was severe, 20 hours sleep a day. But treatment for brain pressure followed by mast cell treatment has helped us tremendously. So understand, I watched my decline over 7 years, but in the last year, the decline escalated for sure. Now, I believe my son may actually make it back to school after 3 years of being out of school, bless his heart. We all had objective measurements of our short-term memory. We watched those decline until they were no better than chance on those questions. Please take a look at the theory and thoughts about some treatment here. Share it with your doctors. And if you can participate in any of our clinical trials, that would be tremendous. Just click on patient studies on the website and take a look. They are all at no charge and some involve no travel. Cool. And to Jennifer and all of those like her, hang in. Please visit the forum at prettyill.com and see if others there can help you too. Let's keep reaching out to each other along this journey. We will continue to change our world one brain cell at a time if we have to, okay? Gentle hugs to you all. Thanks. Bye. Thank you so much, but Mercy, please keep. It's in New York, yay. Thank you all for, start over. Oh, gosh,